So after 2 years, we have updated Pixel Buds Pro, but are they worth upgrading to? Well, here's everything you need to know. If you want more comparisons and deep dives into Android devices and accessories like this, then how about hitting that subscribe button? It means more than you would ever know. And you'll join one of the best and like-minded communities on the internet. So go ahead, tap that subscribe button and become a part of a growing movement. Until you open the charging carry case, I don't think there's much between the Pixel Buds Pro and the Pro 2 to distinguish them. In fact, unless you notice the little tiny slot at the bottom, then you probably wouldn't know that this is a new device at all. This is for the enhanced Find My Device network compatibility, as you can actually ping the Buds Pro 2 case to help locate it. The new design though is super lightweight once you open the case, but the buds themselves, I will say they feel hollow and a little bit more plasticky than the previous generation. They just feel a little bit more dense in your hand. In your ears, you can tell a difference between the original Pixel Buds Pro and the Pro 2. Part of that is due to the new screw-in fitting process, which I think some people might find a little bit discomforting. This does create a very secure fit, but has some benefits for added sound isolation, as it does create a better in-ear seal once you fitted them. I will say that both buds are comfortable in my ears. Although the Buds Pro are almost 2 grams heavier, they're still really comfortable and easy to wear for hours at a time. What's more interesting is that the case actually makes the entire package a little heavier on the newer earbuds, despite some substantial weight decreases. The gain is likely due to the added speaker and the larger internal battery. We'll get onto that in a little bit later, but we're sure that most of you out there will agree that lighter earbuds are definitely more important than the carry case, especially if that carry case increases battery longevity. Google has actually yet to confirm the actual cell sizes in these, but a larger battery would enable those extended lifespans that have been touted. Another upgrade here to the case is an improved IP certification. So the new Pixel Buds Pro 2 case is IPX4 rated, while the original Pixel Buds Pro are only IPX2 protected against light water spray. The buds are still rated as IPX4 across the board here. So with the new case, it's a great upgrade, as this means it should be able to handle things like a light rain shower or even a splash if you're in a damp or wet condition. That's super important if you'd like to use your earbuds in lots of places, and is an important upgrade to the earbuds. As for the comfort and fit, I think the new twist and lock process might be uncomfortable, as I noted, for some people out there, but the Pixel Buds Pro 2 has reduced that plugged feeling that the Pixel Buds Pro can sometimes suffer from. The weight decrease is, as I mentioned, instantly noticeable and does make a huge difference in the overall long-term comfort once you have them seated correctly in your ear canal. One of the only other major downsides of this new shape and style is that touches and taps definitely create more of a scratchy sound that can be quite distracting and a little bit uncomfortable. Any touches or readjustments does create a lot of rustle and reverb in your ear because of the way that each earbud does sit in your ear canal. And I do think this is super uncomfortable at times, but it isn't as much of a problem with the first generation Pixel Buds Pro because of the way those sit in your ears. So if you value that when you want those touch controls, then it might not be worth looking at the Pixel Buds Pro 2. It's worth noting that ahead of time. For some people, I do think the change in the fit style from a placement in your ear to a screw-in also might be a deal breaker, and I think that's understandable as well, as this is a very, very different change for how Google is sorting out these earbuds. So as we all know, the sound quality of the Pixel Buds Pro series has been pretty mixed at best, but there are some substantial upgrades this year that I do think make the Pixel Buds Pro 2 easier to recommend than they ever have been. I still feel that the latest buds are better for the casual listener or someone who is willing to put in the work with an EQ, for instance, to get that best audio experience. So if you've used the Pixel Buds Pro, you probably agree with me that the default experience is just on the acceptable side, but with some tuning, as I noted, it can be a lot better. But thanks to some changes in the drivers, the 11mm drivers in the new Pixel Buds Pro 2, the audio experience is actually quite a big step up right out of the box. Another area of improvement is how the newer earbuds handle things like spoken words, think podcasts and calls, that kind of thing. I think everything sounds deeper, richer, and with a lot more nuance. Sadly, you'll notice that the Pixel Buds Pro 2 can still lean a little heavy on the bass and at the low end in the default profile, but it doesn't muddy the rest of the track, and there is a lot less of a drone when you're listening for long periods. I still wouldn't say that the audio experience is excellent, but it's better for far more genres, and you can similarly tweak the EQ to at least get a tailored audio experience that suits your own personal taste while tuning out some of the irregularities. But I will say that your mileage may vary when trying to do that. If you want to know just what they sound like, I know this isn't a scientific test, but here's a little test so that you can determine if there are enough improvements that are worth it for you. So have a listen. Away from the listening experience, the active noise cancellation has taken a major step up this year and will dull lots more of ambient noises in your surroundings, more so than the original Pixel Buds Pro, which were pretty much fine again. The transparency mode though has made major strides and is absolutely crystal clear with no scratchiness. It's almost like you're not wearing any buds, and I do think this is, as I said in my review, probably the best on any earbuds that I've tested so far. It's almost as if you're not wearing any earbuds at all. It's that damn good. As I noted, the audio experience is a marked improvement for the Pixel Buds Pro to the Pro 2, which I think a lot of people will really love, and that's probably the thing you needed to hear most. One of the biggest downsides though is that for $229 or $200 plus, there is a distinct lack of support for high-res codecs. 2 years later, we're still stuck using AAC and SBC, so while there are upgrades, you won't be enjoying high-res audio in either pair of these buds. So if you're someone who cares about listening to audio with high-res codecs, you're still not going to be catered for here. So credit where it's due, Google has added a ton of extra functions to the original Pixel Buds Pro so that the product that exists now is actually a major step up over an acceptable launch device, just a borderline acceptable launch device. You could say that the Buds Pro had to walk so that the Buds Pro 2 could run, and I agree with that sentiment. The latest release does include spatial audio with head tracking, a 5-point EQ, Find My Device, multi-point connectivity, hearing wellness, conversation detection, clear calling, and assistant quick phrases outside of the box, which is also now on the Pixel Buds Pro with updates. And that comes alongside Gemini Live and some less quantifiable audio improvements that I noted just a little while ago. Gemini though is set to replace the Google Assistant on the Pixel Buds Pro with a future update, but it's not clear if Gemini Live is coming to the older version of the earbuds. So as it stands, that's probably the only major actual feature that you might miss out on. Wireless connectivity though is getting a big bump from Bluetooth. Wireless connectivity is getting a big bump though from Bluetooth 5.2 on the Buds Pro to 5.4 on the Pro 2, and this means that dropouts should be less of a worry. I don't think it was a major problem anyway. That said, the connectivity is pretty solid once again. You might get a better range from the Pixel Buds Pro 2, but that will depend on the device that you're connected to, and of course Bluetooth 5.4 should improve in terms of actual power consumption as well, so that's something else to note. Find My Device is the outright biggest change though on the Pixel Buds Pro 2. Now you can pinpoint the buds themselves and the case within the Find My Device application, as I think this is probably a big step up for people who misplace them, as the original Buds Pro can only be tracked to the last known paired location, which is actually derived from your phone's location. So if you lose a Pixel Buds Pro 2, you can get the case, and each earbud will now emit a noise for easy recovery. And I do think this is one of the biggest and best changes to the earbuds. So in terms of the battery longevity, the first Pixel Buds Pro 2 were actually somewhat of a landmark for ANC earbuds in terms of lifespan. That continues once again with the Pixel Buds Pro 2, which have somehow managed to surpass the first gen in the battery stakes with and without ANC enabled. So according to Google, you'll get around 30 hours now with ANC enabled, or a whopping 48 hours if you disable the feature. That's with the case itself. And what's more impressive, that even though each earbud is substantially smaller, the Pixel Buds Pro 2 now give you up to 8 hours per earbud when using ANC, and that tracks with my own usage an hour longer than the Pixel Buds Pro, which stands at 7 hours per earbud with noise cancellation enabled. As I noted in our experience, Google really isn't overstating the battery lifespan as well. It's just a strong area for both generations, and kudos to Google for being able to offer that. Wrapping this all up into a nice, neat little package, I think there are lots of improvements that do make the Pixel Buds Pro 2 a worthy upgrade over the Pixel Buds Pro for anyone who simply wants a pair of first-party in-ear earbuds for their Android phone or their tablet. I will say I'm hesitant to say they're a worthwhile purchase for anyone who does care about audio quality over specific integration and functionality when you do start to consider that $229 pricing. Find My Device integration is a really great addition, but you see most of the same gains elsewhere in the audio experience and the battery longevity, which makes them that quite a big step up. I do think the Buds Pro 2 offer enough of that jump up in quality, longevity, and overall comfort over the Buds Pro if you want to stay with a Pixel product. Just be aware that you can get better Bluetooth earbuds for the all-important listening experience at lower prices, or you could even just go back and grab the Pixel Buds Pro, which are now available at a substantial discount if you simply don't care about audio and just want something that you're going to use on a fairly irregular basis. I want to ask you though, do you think the upgrade is worth it? As I know, I think it is this time around. But let me know down in the comment sections below. I want to say cheers for making it this far into this video. If you have, how about leaving a little smiley face emoji down in the comment sections below? And cheers to our channel members on screen now. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, but until next time, I'll speak to you later.